Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy podcast, presented to you by DSM Media, as well as your host, myself, Slim. You can follow me on X at R2R30111. You can follow your other host here, Scotty Duran. As you can see by the title today, we will be recapping the NBA Cup championship game last night between the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. Banger matchup between those two teams, to say the least. And also, we'll be doing our top 10 power rankings. It's been a while since we did it and end this thing off with the weekly Who You Got segment. But before we dive into any topics, my brother, Scotty, how you doing this fine Wednesday evening, my brother?
Happy hump day, my brother.
Oh, hey!
Hump day. You know what it is. More than halfway through the week. We are almost to the weekend, bruh. But I'm happy to see you. Obviously, we're coming off the big NBA Cup championship matchup. That was an awesome. Even the semifinals was great to see that OKC San Antonio showdown, the Orlando New York Knicks going at it, even without Franz. But last night's game was really top class. I really enjoyed it, and as a neutral fan, which is always fun, right? But I'm happy to be here with you, man. I'm in a good mood, as you can see. I see you got the energy today as well. So let's keep it flowing, brother. But how you feeling, my man? How you feeling on this fine Wednesday? I think I know, but you can tell me. I ain't gonna speak for you.
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, bro. I can't complain. Got out work early, and yeah, never can complain about that. And also, man, last night, it was a great matchup between two teams, and just kind of feeding up the energy as well. But I also want to kind of make a little statement outside of the NBA. Like, this is the NBA podcast, but I just shot it to you before we went live. I was like, man,
Yeah.
the NFL is going through it right now with injuries, bro. Like, Patrick Mahomes just went down with a torn ACL, and I think it was like a torn something else. But major injury, definitely sucks to see him go down. They have been struggling this season. I've seen Michael Parsons go down as well.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, the NFL, they said it's time for y'all to get some real damn grass. Okay, that's the way to put it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. They got to do something different, right? Because it just, I don't know. I feel you. It felt like a lot of injuries occurred this week specifically, especially big names. You mentioned Micah and Patrick. But yeah, no, it's always good to shout out the NFL on here, man. We crossbreed with sports and shit, so it's all good. But no, yeah, I feel you on the real grass. Everything going to turf these days, it's going to ruin them joints. But no, how we feel about last night, man? NBA Cup championship. Yeah, the Spurs. You had the Knicks. How surprised were you to see the Spurs there? Let me just start there, man.
Honestly, I wouldn't say I was surprised at all. Like, this is a team without Victor Wembanyama. They've been looking pretty good. Yep. Everybody know their role, and they have been playing to the T. De'Aaron Fox have been rallying the troops. He's been doing this thing. And also, I got to get a head coach a lot of level, too, just kind of letting those guys play off each other. Just letting those guys learn through their mistakes and not necessarily pulling them and benching them. So it's been a nice sight to see for sure. I wouldn't ever say I was surprised, though, but the New York Knicks, man, they captured the 2025 NBA Cup championship, defeating the Spurs. Final score 124 to 113. The Knicks won in Las Vegas. The Knicks trailed for the majority of the game, but exploded in the fourth quarter, outscoring the San Antonio Spurs to 35 to 19 to secure the title. My man OG, man, gotta shout him out. He finished the game with 28 points, scored 20 in the first half. He was locked in and loaded. Jalen Brunson finished the game with 25 points, 8 assists, and was named the NBA Cup MVP. From the Spurs side, I think. Well, also Karl Towns had 16 points, 11 rebounds. You get the memo here, just kind of showing the depth with this New York Knicks roster. Jordan Clarkson came in, hit big shots. What's the guy named Tyler something? Cole.
Yeah,
Cole was huge, hitting timely jumpers. It says a lot when the New York Knicks can close a game out with Mikal Bridges not playing. That kind of says a lot right there. So the Spurs side of things, Victor Wembanyama finished with 18 points. Obviously, he's in a minutes restriction. And sending my condolences. I know his grandma passed away yesterday. Definitely sucks to hear. Dylan Harper led the Spurs with 21 points in the loss. He was huge. But nonetheless, like, you kind of seen that the Knicks showed their resiliency, like the clutch fourth quarter defense, Brunson MVP performance, rallying the troops doing this thing. Yeah, I just say, and also the Spurs, they kind of look like a future contender team. You know, they're young, but they're legit.
Yeah.
I say, like they know their role, they know the guys to feed off of and do their thing. So yeah, I did see that the Knicks will not be hanging their banner up though. I had seen that, so you
As
know,
they shouldn't.
you
As they
think so?
should. Yeah.
But I think that
That would be really embarrassing if the New York Knicks hung that banner. That would be really embarrassing for them, man.
but they
They're
haven't
better
won.
than that, yo. That's New York. That's the Big Apple. You can't be putting some fraud banner up there, dog. Not with the real ones. Not with the real championships.
Fair enough, fair enough. But nonetheless, that's my takeaways from both sides. You kind of talked to me like, what did you see over the course of the game last night that kind of stood out to you? Anything you took away from it?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. A lot of what you saw, man, New York Knicks, the depth, uh, like you said, the ability to close out the game, specifically without Mikal Bridges on the floor. There was a time where Josh Hart wasn't on the floor. It was Jordan Clarkson and Tyler Kolek on the floor at the same time. They were running like a 2-3 guard set with Jalen Brunson out there at times. They had to go a significant amount of time without Cat as well. He had like a knee or a calf injury or something mixed in there where he just always overreacts, bro, and then ends up coming back in the game and shit. I thought his career was over the way he reacted, and then he sits on the bench for a little, comes back in the game. Mitchell Robinson was huge with some rebounding mixed in there while Cat was sitting out, though. But yeah, no, I agree with what you said. The depth really showed for this team in this game. And I think the big thing that you said to me last week about the Knicks, and I found it to be true, I think we see that now with them winning the NBA Cup, is that in any one single game, they can beat anybody and they can win any game. And I think, when you look at them from that perspective, game sevens, elimination games, different things like that, where it's one game scenario, it's hard not to put your money on the Knicks in those situations. Obviously, with the caveats of the Thunder and, the elite teams of the NBA, obviously. But in a lot of those situations, I'm going to take the Knicks, especially in the East. So that's what kind of showed to me. You mentioned the resiliency. I kind of attribute that to experience as well. The Knicks have had these long playoff runs that the Spurs just really haven't experienced yet, right? But they're, to your point about the Spurs being real, I do agree there as well, man. I was impressed with the way they played the Knicks. It was a back and forth. I think, to your point, the experience of the Knicks kind of just worked out in their favor. They were able to close that game out stronger. But, man, to beat the Thunder like that, bro, in a game where the Thunder aren't taking it lightly, right? And so what that did for me, them beating the Thunder gave me a little bit of hope in the Western Conference that if Wemby can play, if he can stay healthy, this Spurs team can really compete with the best of them. But yeah, you're probably right as far as like elite competition when it comes to the postseason. 7-game grueling series in the West. They're probably going to need a year or two to really, really compete at that level. But it's hard to put a cap on like what Wemby and company can do. The one last call out I'll throw in there for the Spurs that I use the term disappoint lightly. But I feel like De'Aaron Fox should have been a little bit more aggressive. I don't think you should have come out of this game with Vassell, for example, shooting more shots than De'Aaron Fox. I felt like he's been a catalyst throughout this NBA Cup, throughout this time without Wemby. I expected him to be a little bit more aggressive last night, but it was a great game. It was a great game and well-deserved to the New York Knicks. No, you can't hang that.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. Mike Brown. He has been doing a phenomenal job with those guys.
Yeah,
that was something that Tom Thibodeau typically don't do, and that's let guys come off the bench and do that thing. I mean, my man Tom Thibodeau was out there running the starters into the ground, and you kind of see what
that's a great point. Yeah,
translated to. So shout out to Mike Brown, doing his thing, believing in those guys. But I guess that's it for the NBA Cup. Shout out to Adam Silver and his crew for coming up with such a smart idea. It was just a smart thing to do, is just bring a different level of competitiveness to the NBA that's, desperately needed at times.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like, guys are sitting out for sore pinkies, shit.
What did you think of Charles Barkley's comments? Did you see him?
What did he say? I didn't see it.
Oh, it was just something like it's like pathetic that we have to put together this tournament for guys to earn more money to get them to compete at a harder level. Like he was just, he put the old man cap on and just started the haterade again. A lot of people have been saying they're happy that he hasn't been covering it. So
It's the truth. I couldn't agree because I look at like prime example John Morant a few years ago. He said that the only way he would compete in the NBA dunk contest is if he were to get 1 million likes on Twitter. He had posted it. He was like, if I get 1 million likes on this, how I do it. So I agree with Charles Barkley. Nowadays, these cats, they want something to kind of be involved in it.
Yeah, an incentive to do their job, right?
Right, yeah, exactly.
It's weird, but yeah, no. Did you the NBA Cup though? I assume that's a success. Because I agree. I thought it was really entertaining.
Yeah, it is like the playing tournament as well. So
yeah, good point.
Anyway, man, that cup title from the Knicks really shook stuff up. But let's dig into where teams sit right now in the league, and we will be transitioning over to our top 10 power rankings updated. It's been like a few weeks since we did this, but
yes,
how you want to do this, my man? 1 through 10 or 10 all the way up to the top?
Let's go 1 to 10. Let's go 1 to 10. I think it'll be fun today.
You think it'll be fun? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get it, my brother. So I'll kick it off. Coming in number 1, it's kind of obvious once again, week after week. The reigning defending NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder, sitting at the top of the power rank with the best record in the league. Their offense and defense balance is elite, and they have been dominant all season. No better way to put it.
No, I feel you on that. I went with the New York Knicks. I'm going with recency bias. I feel like this is my one opportunity to knock the Thunder off of that pedestal. I'm taking that opportunity and going with the NBA Cup champions as the number 1 team in my power rankings, bro.
That's what's up, man. Coming in number 2, I had the New York Knicks, man, the NBA Cup champs. Momentum and confidence plus strong recent play. OG Anunoby has been very, very aggressive offensively. I love to see that in that system. The other guys like Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench, providing that offense. So, yeah, I got New York at number 2.
I like it. Number 2 for me is going to be the San Antonio Spurs. Just taking my chance to dig at the OKC Thunder for one time this season, bro. They'll be back at number 1 next week, I'm sure. They'll win like their next 3 or 4 games or some shit, at least, right? So I'm going with the Spurs at number 2 because they were able to take down the Oklahoma City Thunder in a big, meaningful game with Wembanyama back in the lineup in a minimal type of role. He was on a minutes restriction, so they were very strategic with the way they used him, and the way they closed out that game was really impressive. But just for now, I'm going to give the nod to the Spurs.
That's what's up. Coming in number 3 for me, man, I have the Denver Nuggets. Consistent contender with MVP level play from Jokic and a deep roster. Cam Johnson has been playing much better as of late. This is something that, I have alluded to start the year off. He was kind of struggling. They was winning. And I was like, just imagine when he kind of gets settled in that offense, what the team will really look like when everything is all right. So, yeah, I had the Denver Nuggets coming in number 3, man.
I like it. Number 3 for me, obviously going to be the Thunder at this point. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, they're number 3, sure.
Yeah, anything past 3 would be like, okay.
But it's a little ridiculous in a sense. I was just trying to be a little fun with it, but yeah.
That's what it's all about. No wrong answer, but coming in number 4 for me, man, I got to give love to the San Antonio Spurs. This is a team without Victor Wembanyama has been, grinding and is a top 5 seed in the lower Western Conference. So that kind of says a lot right there. Ever since De'Aaron Fox came back, Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle, they all kind of just gel off one another in terms of like the guard rotation. Everybody gets in and do their job. And the veterans on the team like Harrison Barnes, I guess you would consider Keldon Johnson a vet at this point. Yeah. But all those guys have been thriving in their role, and it's been an amazing sight to see. Although they did come up short yesterday in the NBA Cup Finals, but nonetheless, them making it there is a good sign for sure. So I have those guys coming in number 4 in my top 10 power rankings.
I like it. Just curious, quick question. Rockets and Spurs, come playoff time right now, who would you say you would trust more in a 7-game series?
I'll go with San Antonio.
Okay, fair enough. Just curious. There's no wrong answer in my opinion. Number 4, I'm going to go with the Nuggets, who you already mentioned. Cam Johnson playing a lot better. Jokic still playing at that MVP level as per usual. And yeah, they continue to win games. I think they're on a 5-game win streak right now. So they're only going to get better, in my opinion, as well as they continue to gel and figure things out. But yeah, Nuggets at number 4.
For me, man, coming in number 5, how the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, not the Lakers. No, not the Lakers. Heck no, the Houston Rockets.
Okay,
I
got you.
The Houston Rockets. Did you see that matchup between Jokic and Şengün the other night?
No, I did not catch it.
I mean, come on, bro. Like, Şengün is literally baby Jokic, bro. No better way to put it. Like the way they play is just so similar, bro.
They were going at it though.
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, they both finished the game with a triple-double.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I have the Houston Rockets coming from 5. But this is a team that ever since week 1 they have been getting better and better, kind of just feeding off each other. I do still have my concerns in terms of like the playoff time, like the point guard position to be exact. But nonetheless, everything else kind of checked the box, like defense, offense, running transition, rebounding. This is a very tough team to beat in the 7-game series, but they still have their cons. But nonetheless, good enough to be top 5, my top 10 power ranks for sure.
I like it. Number 5 for me is going to be the Detroit Pistons. They're 21-5. I think they're on a 4-game win streak right now, 7-3 in their last 10. They continue to kind of control the East from a seeding standpoint, you could say. Still ahead of the Knicks. Obviously, the Knicks winning the NBA Cup championship, they come higher, but Detroit continues to be impressive. The culture that they're building there, they're top 5 for me in this one.
Yeah, coming in at 6 would be the Detroit Pistons. They was not too far away, but to your point, 4-game winning streak, Cade Cunningham leadership and team defense have been a big reason for this team's success. Everybody feed off one another and just keep getting better and better week after week. So they come in at number 6 for me, man.
Got you. And number 6 for me is the Rockets. So we just got it in reverse order there. To your point earlier, I know you almost mentioned the Lakers. I went back and forth between the Lakers and Rockets right here at this point, and I ultimately went with the Rockets. They've been better defensively, and they're scoring more points per game. So I went with the team that's just doing more. I think they are really close. Obviously, Luka playing at an MVP level for the Lakers. But I love what the Rockets are doing. You mentioned Şengün. He's stepping up this season. You're seeing Amen Thompson come into his own. He's really starting to find his stride alongside Şengün. And then, of course, you got KD that's always going to be there consistently to give you 20, 23, 25, 30 if you maybe need it. So, yeah, I like where the Houston Rockets are going. They come in at number 6 for me, bro.
Okay. Coming in at number 7, man, I had the Boston Celtics. This is a team, that have been on the trending up in recent weeks, always dangerous. Jaylen Brown has been very, very good to start the year off.
Yeah.
Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, all those guys. So I got to show those guys some love for sure. They made it. I think they like the 6th or 5th seed, but nonetheless, them being in the playoffs, top 5 is impressive without Tatum. So,
yeah.
It says a lot right there. So I got the Celtics coming in number 7.
No, I feel that. Number 7 for me is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers. 7-3 in their last 10. The 3rd seed in the West right now? Behind the Thunder and the Spurs, or not the Thunder, not the Spurs, but the Nuggets. I believe they are the 3rd seed right now.
Yep.
But I do have them ultimately behind the Rockets and the Spurs, obviously, who perform well in the NBA Cup. I've said this to you since the beginning of the season. Obviously, Luka, incredible. I do think DeAndre Ayton, to your point earlier in the year, he's playing out of his mind right now alongside Luka. I don't know. I got to see it over the course of a season with the rest of those guys. Austin Reeves, we'll see how much he can really keep that scoring average up across the entire season. I just have to see it to believe it with the pace and the rate that they're playing right now. But Luka leading, would you say he's leading the MVP race or?
Yeah, he was originally my pick to start the year off, so I'm gonna say yeah.
Yeah. I think, that's the one that sticks out to me right now. But, yeah, going with the Lakers at number 7, nonetheless. LeBron's been back. He's looked pretty good in moments. So, they're going to be a tough team for sure.
Okay, yeah. Coming in number 8 for me, man, I have the Orlando Magic, young team with strong chemistry and defensive grit. They're willing and tough to deal with on a week-to-week basis. A guy like Desmond Bain is so annoying, you know. But nonetheless, like Paulo and Franz, those guys been doing their thing. Although Franz did go down to injury, they are the Magic are the fifth seed in the East, so that's pretty good. I'd say Anthony Black, all those guys have been contributing in their own right. So yeah, I gotta show these guys some love, and they are number 8 on my top 10 power rankings.
I feel that. Number 8 on my power rankings. I went with the Minnesota Timberwolves at 17-9. Currently I believe in the play-in scenario in the West. Maybe a little bit higher. I may be tripping there. They're 17-9, so they should be right below the Lakers and the Spurs and such. But nonetheless, I've been impressed in how they've been able to stay afloat early on with Ant in and out of the lineup. He's been kind of beat up. He's got the foot injury right now. I know he's a game time decision for tonight, so I'm interested to see him step back into action. That game's on NBA TV. I think it's against the Grizzlies. So I'm going to tune into that later just to check them out a little bit more. But I do like the way they've been able to stay afloat and just maintain their spot in the West. So T-Wolves come in at number 8 for me.
Okay, coming in number 9, man, I have the Los Angeles Lakers. You can argue, man, when healthy, could they potentially beat anybody? Maybe. Who knows? But nonetheless, you kind of alluded to it all, man. Like the way Luka has been playing this season, is he the clear-cut MVP? You know, it's a lot of question marks around there, but I would say yes because he had my vote originally before the season started. So, yeah, I got the Lakers coming in number 9. And did you see what happened between LeBron and Dylan Brooks the other night?
Yeah.
That was, I know Dylan Brooks, that's his role. He's the villain. He kind of antagonized people, but LeBron not really one to just kind of get upset like that. So I wonder, like, what did Dylan Brooks say to him?
What does he say?
Yeah, to have him act that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The LeBron shit, I thought that was funny, man. I thought it was funny that Dylan Brooks ends up getting ejected as LeBron like runs through this man on a 3-point attempt, bruh. I felt like LeBron was getting away with a lot in that game, manhandling referees and such, moving them out the way.
That is true.
No other player in the NBA can do shit like that, like LeBron, without getting kicked out of the game. You can't be moving refs like that and shit. He's big as hell. But no, it is funny, man. You do have to wonder, to your point, what Dylan Brooks be saying out there on the court. I think the worst part is that Dylan Brooks do be cooking.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he do. I ain't gonna lie though.
Big shots, like his shit is annoying if you're playing against that motherfucker.
Yeah, he do be backing that shit up though. I ain't gonna lie to
you. He stepped up. He stepped up since leaving Memphis for real. I feel that.
Yeah. It's all about opportunity, honestly, though. But yeah, I had the Lakers coming in number 9, though.
Fair enough. I have a team you mentioned earlier in your power rankings at number 9, the Boston Celtics. You mentioned it, Jaylen Brown playing at a high level. At what point, there's a lot of people you could throw into the MVP conversation right now. What point does Jaylen Brown enter that combo if they continue to rise up in the Eastern Conference? But no, I like what they've been doing. At some point, do you have to accept Joe Mazzulla as a great coach? He's won a championship, obviously, but obviously you look at the roster, it's like maybe you take a little bit of credit from him, but at a certain point, man, he just continues to win through injuries. No Jason Tatum, to your point, this season. Winning games like it's nothing. 7-3 in their last 10. So it's an interesting thought with Joe Mazzulla, who I just looked at it as kind of a guy that was inserted into a really great situation, but he is making the most with some of these players, man. Peyton Pritchard has turned into quite the player. So
yeah, you've been doing this thing for sure. But coming in number 10, man, for me, I have the Toronto Raptors. This is a team that has impressed me, all season thus far. Balanced roster that plays consistent basketball, and it's never an easy out. When you play those guys, defensively, they're legit and offense. So, and the thing about them, they get better. They have a lot of pieces over there that can get moved and improve their roster. So, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I ended up going with the Orlando Magic, who you mentioned earlier, at number 10. They're 15-11, able to maintain, their stance with mixture of injuries between Paolo and now Franz, who's out. I even saw Jalen Suggs. He went out in that game against the New York Knicks, I believe. I'm not sure what came of that in that NBA Cup matchup last week, but I saw he went down. They're still staying afloat. You mentioned Anthony Black. He's having a career type of year so far this season, really starting to stand out. And they're still waiting for Paolo to get back to that all-star level, right? He's not playing at that level right now. They're waiting for him to get back to that. So they got room to grow, to your point about the Raptors. The Magic got room to grow as well. Bane's still ironing out that role more and more, turning into the villain for the Magic. Maybe that's what they need. But I did put the honorable mention Toronto Raptors. They're right there for me, to your point, having them at number 10. So I feel you on the Raptors. But
yeah, because
close out with the Magic.
Yeah, Desmond Bain, his numbers are constantly going up week after week, specifically like his shooting numbers, because to start the year off, it was bad. Now he's shooting 45% from the field.
True.
And 35% from three-point range. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
What he was to start
the year off. That's what they brought him in for sure.
Yeah, to do that. But so out of all that, man, like that's pretty much it before the Who You Got segment, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we'll obviously continue to dig in throughout the week. We'll see what we can get in before Christmas hits. But yeah, I feel like it's been a little dry with the NBA Cup, like semifinals, quarterfinals, and then obviously the NBA Cup championship. We get back into like regular basketball tonight with I think there's 2 games tonight. The one being on NBA TV, the Grizzlies and the T-Wolves. And then I think we have a full slate tomorrow, get back into the regular schedule. But yeah, it's been kind of dry, man, with, my team hasn't been playing much. We have had like 1 game a week the last 3 weeks. But it's helped Embiid and Paul George. I know you see my guys going in. Yeah. They'll be on these top 10 power rankings soon.
Yeah, it must be nice.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about the Warriors today, bro. We don't have to. I know how you feel.
They're not worried to be discussed on this podcast.
They got to earn that. Yeah.
They got to earn. All right, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Breaking down how the leagues look right now. But let's jump into our favorite part of the show, the weekly Who You Got segment. So we're going to kind of do this thing a little different. We're going to compare 2 young prospects on the same team. This should be fun. So we got Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper of the San Antonio Spurs. Who you got having the better career? So just kind of give you a rundown of each player. Stephon Castle, known for his 2-way impact, strong defender with playmaker versatility, a floor rise on winning teams, and could pretty much anchor a rotation defensively. Dylan Harper, offensive creator with scoring ability and playmaking instincts. Like I said, he kind of reminds me of a Manu Ginobili to an extent. High potential scoring upside and offensive gravity. So in saying that, like, I know you got your own notes. Do you want to kind of elaborate on it before we ask each other who we got?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head with a lot of the talking points there on both of them. You got Castle at 18 points per game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists this season, 51, 29, 72% from the field. So you do want to see some of those shooting numbers increase. Dylan Harper off the bench, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 3.7 assists per game. He's shooting 46, 26, 71 from the obviously across the board, right? 46% from the field, 26 from the 3, 71 from the free throw line. So both of the shooting percentages need to come up a bit, but I think both of these players have shown major flashes at times. And I think what drove this conversation closer for me, because it was kind of a landslide at one point, and it's gotten very close for me. After last night, man, watching Dylan Harper step up for the Spurs like that in a big moment. You made a comparison before we started the show that I'll let you elaborate on, but just hit big shot after big shot. He's shooting 26% from the 3-point line this season. He goes 5 for 7 from the 3-point line last night in big moments. So I just think he's a kid that is made for it, and that's what ultimately makes this comparison closer for me.
Yeah. So with all that being said, who you got?
Man, I almost talked myself out of Stephon Castle because Dylan Harper is great, and I do have a little bit of bias towards Dylan Harper. I'm left-handed, he's left-handed. We play weird as left-handers. The ball handling, the shooting, all of it's weird. The layup packages, and it's hard to defend. Just from what I've heard around me, right? I'll go with Stephen Castle for the size. You mentioned the defensive impact, being that center of a defense. You saw it last night, what he was able to do. He was playmaking last night, led the team in assists with 12. So I go with Stephon Castle. What about you? Who you got?
To me, like, it comes down to like Stephon Castle two-way game versus Dylan Harper offense. And I'm a junkie for defense, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I love defense, so that kind of takes right there. I had to lean more so towards Stephon Castle, but that's not to take anything away from Dylan Harper, because I have a follow-up question, which would kind of make sense to kind of, in my opinion, show Dylan Harper a little bit more love. And that question is, who has the skill set that ages better over a long career? Me, myself, personally, I would say Dylan Harper. I think that a player like Castle can arguably rely on his athleticism a little bit too much. And as you get older and older in this league, you kind of knows that, as time progresses, that kind of ages. You don't really have that same jump, defensively, getting to the hole.
What if Stephon Castle at ages like Russell Westbrook? Russell Westbrook's a freak of nature, though, to be fair.
Yeah,
he's a freak athlete. Yeah. Honestly, so maybe that's not fair.
If you would have asked that with Amen Thompson, though, because he's a freak of nature.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. No, I feel you on that. Dylan Harper, he definitely in his skill set's only going to get more rounded out. The shooting percentages are only going to get better. To that point, I think his shooting is more likely to get better than Stephon Castle. That's no shot at Castle. I just think Dylan Harper is more of the pure scoring type. I think you saw that last night in big moments. I do also beg the question, man. Dylan Harper without De'Aaron Fox in the lineup, what does his role look like? What does his production look like on a different team, being the lead guard? What does his production look like? Hopefully for San Antonio's case, we'll never know, because they'll keep those guys together, because that's a heck of a trio. But it is interesting, if he was given more opportunity, what would it look like? But you go with Castle now for sure. I agree.
Yeah, but I'd say, like, I do think at some point they will have to make a decision, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Between the four of those guys, Vassell, Castle, Fox, and Harper.
Good point.
It's like Harper is kind of on the back end of getting shots up. And that's okay, because he's a rookie. He still got to earn the stripes. But if you're not really winning right now, at some point you're going to have to trade one of those guys, I feel like. So. But that's pretty much it, chat, though, man. Appreciate everybody that popped in. It was an amazing podcast. Me and my guy try to link up and do this thing every week. But make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We got 17 people watching on the DSM media page, so make sure you guys slide over to the Galaxy Podcast and subscribe, as well as follow us on TikTok at NBA to the Galaxy Podcast. And we will for sure try to be here again next week. We know next week is Christmas, and there's a lot of great games coming on that day. So if you ain't got nothing else to say, my brother, with that being said, we out.
Peace, everybody. Until next time. Appreciate you, Slim.
Sure.